Well, the time is here. It's time to talk about all matters insurance. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce this gentleman who is very interesting. His name is Mr. Kalai Musee. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
You had the supervision department at IRA.
Yes, that's right.
Karibu sana. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the two African names. It's very, very strong, very powerful.
Okay.
Wherever it is you're watching us from, what are your two African names? Are they tongue twisters or easy to say, like Kalai Musee? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Tell us, what does IRA, what does your department do at IRA?
My department is called Supervision Directorate. It's actually a directorate. This directorate, what it does is basically to look at the insurance industry, all the players in the insurance industry, starting from licensing all the way to looking at how they do their business, how they conduct themselves, how they treat their customers, and all those aspects. That's what supervision is all about, just to make sure that they operate within the law. We are the Insurance Act which we enforce. So it's ensuring that everybody plays within the Insurance Act.
And obviously your actions are actually backed up by law.
Yes,
you're empowered
right.
by the law.
Yeah.
Now, good sir, there's people that would say, you people are now like the prefects of all the insurance companies.
We are.
What do you do to insurance companies that are found to be rogue or to go against the law or against best practice or even operating in bad faith?
Actually, again, the law provides for actions that can be taken. And those actions can vary, including warnings, we warn them, reprimanding, there are several of them, penalizing, and it ends probably with cancelling their license at the end of the day. That's the worst you can do. Yeah, so there is a chain of actions that are provided for in the Insurance Act that we can take.
Right.
Yes.
Another challenge that we have seen is a lot of Kenyans have raised some concern over the fact that your organization are supposed to be the people that everyone runs to when there's trouble. If you're having trouble dealing with your insurance company.
That's right.
They should come to you.
That's
Could you just briefly outline for us the process of addressing some of these concerns?
Yes, if you are dealing with an insurance company, of course, many times you'll be okay with the services they give you. But at some point, you may find that they don't serve you the way you feel you should be served. And you need somebody to look at that and support you. That's actually why we are there. Because our business is actually protection of policyholders and insurance beneficiaries. That's why our mandate is to protect you. So if you have any issues, there is an avenue for you to come to us and complain. Or even seek advice. They could be telling you something and you are not comfortable with that.
Yes.
You can actually come to us, seek technical advice. Is what they are telling me the correct thing? Should I go that way? We can give that advice, that technical advice. So there's a procedure. You can actually go to our website and lodge your complaint there. There are also telephone numbers. If you go to the website, you'll see telephone numbers which you can call us, some of them toll-free, so that you can lodge your complaint. Or you can physically walk into our offices, which are based in Upper Zephyr Place, second floor.
And you can be assisted?
You can be assisted.
You know, there's a subject, in recent years, of course, we've had a few insurance companies that have actually collapsed.
That's right.
And of course, when they collapse, there's a lot of stress among the people who actually are their clients. How do they get their money back? How do they get the service back? And we've seen some payouts. For example, the Policyholders Compensation Fund says it paid out about 93 million actually, 93 million, about 94 million to customers of the collapsed Resolution Insurance, Concord and Standard Assurance Company.
That's right.
That was around last year.
Yes.
But at the same time, Treasury was also under pressure to soften these payouts, to these collapsed insurance funds. Talk to us about that, because there are some people that still feel aggrieved. They feel like they were not treated fairly when these insurances collapse together with their resources and what they've invested. What happens to them? What happens for them?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that question. You remember I said the worst action we can take is close a company. So you can see before we take that action, we've done a lot of things to try and make sure that this company does not collapse. Collapsing is actually the last option. That's the last thing. Now, we know if there is a collapse, the policyholders may suffer, those who are insured with the company. That's why the Policyholders Compensation Fund was established, to ensure that if a company collapses, in fact, the law provides that immediately the Commission of Insurance cancels the license or puts this company under statutory management, the Policyholders Compensation Fund should come in immediately and pay some compensation. It will not pay everything, because it may not be possible to pay everything, but it will lessen the burden that these policyholders may feel. So at the moment, I think they pay about 250,000 for every claim.
Okay.
Yes. That ensures that at least there is some relief for those people who are involved in that company. Now,
in the last few years, your organization, the IRA, has released some data, and particularly the particular bit I'm interested in is in the number of punitive efforts that you have to do, like the number of punishments or the number of steps you have to take to keep insurance companies in check. And if I'm not wrong, the number of interventions that your organization has to make has been increasing. Which appears to imply that insurance companies are increasingly misbehaving. Why is this so? What is the new trend that is happening that is causing insurance companies to step out of line, so much so that your organization has to crack the whip more and more than before?
I don't know whether I can say it's a cultural issue. Are Kenyans tending towards a lot of misbehavior? Are we seeing something like that? I don't know. But just to say that as we move on, we've actually been amending the law to increase the sanctions. The law we have at the moment is an old law, enacted in 1984. When the fines put at that time were very small and insignificant. So of late, we have actually been amending the law to enhance and increase the penalties, especially administrative penalties. Initially, the fines which were there were where you have to go to court and that process, a long process. But now we have introduced administrative penalties, which the commissioner can actually instantly administer. And that is what you see in our reports. So those are actually developments which are happening.
But then it also points at a very worrying trend, because clearly more and more people are taking up insurance than ever before. The numbers seem to suggest that. But there are also more and more insurance companies getting into the fray. But we're seeing breaches like failing to pay claims, late payment of annual licensing fees, late submission of financial performance records, and a few other things. Things that actually put you as the regulator, you're in the dark about about how stable are these companies, how safe are some of these covers, and it puts a lot of pressure on you. So what apart from amending the law and raising some of these fines, what other things are the IRA using to make sure that insurance in Kenya is a much safer, much cleaner, and much more streamlined process?
Let me say that there are a lot of developments. We've introduced something we call risk-based supervision. This ensures that customers or the companies are more financially stable. Basically, what we are telling the insurance companies is that they must come up with risk management frameworks so that they can be able to know when they're about to get into trouble. Instead of waiting until they get into trouble, they should have mechanisms to monitor their operations, whether governance, financial operations, and things like that, and see when they are likely to get in trouble.
Kind of like early warning signs.
Early warning signs. And when they see those signs, they're actually supposed to come to us and tell us, we have noticed something here. We may be getting into trouble. Then we'll be asking them, so tell us what you are doing about it. What measures are you putting in place to make sure you don't get into that? In that way, we'll ensure that these companies are more financially strong, so that, of course, we get the customers more protected in that manner. Yes.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit, but before that, and by the way, good people, the SMS line should be on your screen. The WhatsApp number should be on your screen. Send in your questions for Mr. Musee, and we shall be able to ask him to answer those questions for you live and direct. The WhatsApp is coming straight to me, so don't you worry about whether you're going to get your questions answered. Send it. The number's on your screen. Sir, of late, we're seeing banks entering into the insurance space.
Yes.
Talk to us about, do they also submit, first of all, to the supervision and the oversight from you as well, or do they submit to other processes, perhaps other supervisory agencies that look after banks?
Okay, thank you for the question. And I think it's good you have asked this question. Banks have actually come into insurance. But remember, banks are regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. We don't regulate the banks. What we have told the banks is they have come to us and said they have a large number of customers. And these customers may not have insurance. And they know them, they know their financial ability, they have all the information about them. So they have come to us and said, we know our customers, and we think we can come up with products which our customers can make use of and help the penetration of insurance. So we have told them, yes, we can allow you to do that. But they only do that as intermediaries. They don't take the risk. They are not taking the risk.
They can only function as brokers.
They are just as brokers. They take the risk, take it to an insurance company licensed by us. So what we have told the banks is form subsidiaries for this purpose.
As for the purpose of
for
brokering.
the purpose of insurance, form a subsidiary. In fact, we call them bank assurance intermediaries. The law was amended to create a category of licenses called bank assurance intermediaries. So they are just like brokers or agents, but related to the banks, actually owned by the banks. So that is the structure. So it is not the banks who are doing insurance, it is that entity that they have formed.
It doesn't create some sort of insider, situation where somebody uses information they know, gives them undue advantage, do you think, in the market?
It can, and there's been complaints about that, including issues of probably forcing clients to go through them even when they have other brokers.
Exactly. Like, for example, if you're taking a car loan with Bank A, they'll tell you, listen, we'll give you the loan, provided you insure that car with
our agency. And there is that problem, but the law was actually amended to outlaw that. So that's actually not allowed. If we get that, there are sanctions to it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there are questions here. For example, somebody's saying, insurance looks to be just a middle class and rich man's thing. How can you make it easier for us kawaida Kenyans to access insurance? What would you say to such a person?
Yeah, an interesting question. Let me say that could be true traditionally. I think that's what has been happening. You find the insurance products which have been there seem to have been for middle class and the rich. But now we have new products, which we call micro-insurance products, which anybody can afford. So there are products which are actually made for the low-income earners. And we have a separate regulation for that, and we have separate players for that. In fact, already we have licensed about 2 players. To offer those products. They are not being offered by the normal companies. We have told the normal companies, no, you are used to these ones for middle class and others,
right.
we want a separate company to do this new product. So going forward, hopefully, we are going to see a lot of penetration to all those areas. Anybody can afford insurance because it's just a matter of deciding the product which suits your needs. Because everybody has risk. Nobody can say they do not have risk, and insurance deals with the risk.
Right.
So it's a matter of somebody coming and designing a product which is suitable for your situation.
Right.
Yes.
Now, there's also another question that came here, and somebody is asking, could you shed some light on the matter of how, now this is in medical insurance.
Yes.
Can the IRA do something about some private medical insurance companies raising problems when it comes to payment if you have NHIF as well? There's been, I think if I understand them correctly, some private insurances will say they will not cover past a certain point if they know that you also have another insurance, particularly NHIF. Could you shed some light on this? Is there any violation that is being done by these companies? And is there any protection that can come for such people? What would you say?
I think it's an issue of understanding the product that you have bought from this company. Because, and I think that's the mistake most of the policyholders make, that you buy an insurance product, but you actually do not know what is covered and what is not covered until you have a problem, and then somebody comes and tells you, no, I only cover this and not this. And if you look at it, all that was in the policy document which somebody was given, probably they never even read, understood what it is. It's all there. So it depends on the product you buy. Traditionally, insurance is bought to cover what is not covered. If you already have some other cover and you buy insurance, ideally, in most of the products, they will say, now as you come and cover what is not covered. Because you already have the NHIF.
The balance.
As you come for the balance. Others may say, depending on the way you approach them and tell them, me, ignore NHIF, I want cover for everything. And you pay for that because there's a price for everything. Yeah. If they just cover the excess, you may find it's cheaper than if they say they are going to cover everything. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's an issue of knowing exactly what is covered. If people know what is covered and they have read that, you will find very few disputes.
Right.
Yeah.
And how can you help people to understand this more? I believe it's a question of awareness. It's also a question of how to interpret this very sometimes legalistic language that we find in
those policy documents.
Yeah. So how can people at home learn how to do this?
If you look at the policy documents being issued today and look at one issued more than 10 years ago, you see a lot of big difference. We have actually worked on those policy documents. We have come up with standard wording to say how the wording should be, including the fonts and even the language. We have removed actually all that legal language. We have increased the fonts. We have said the fonts should be minimum 12.
Yeah, so nothing like small print.
No small print. We have already addressed that.
Okay, here's another question from Edward. He says, my question is, and these are directly from the audience, do insurance claims have an expiry period? As in, you can't claim after a certain period of time. This is Edward's question. And second, does the IRA have bylaws which can be accessed online by policyholders? This is Edward.
Okay. Yes. Again, it is in the policy document. If you look at the policy document, it says how to claim and when to claim. In fact, I think they use the word claim within reasonable time. Because you may have a claim, but you are in hospital. Probably you are injured.
Yes.
And you spend a year in hospital.
Yes.
You will not be expected to claim within a month. So there are provisions there. Claim as soon as possible. And the policy document states, some of them, I think they even state and say within 3 months or whatever it is. So there are actually provisions on when you can claim. If you come after that, and it is found not to be reasonable, you just stayed home and waited, it's 1 year down the line, then you are coming to claim. The company will deny liability. Okay. And there's a reason for that.
Okay.
You know, in some of these cases, there will be need for investigation. Like if it's a car accident, you had a car accident and you don't report. How will the insurance company be able to investigate and see exactly what happened? They will not be able to do that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. We have somebody else here. You've not left your name, but you say, please, I had an accident on Mombasa Road, hit by a college bus. Up to date, I have not been compensated. I'm really suffering a lot. Even my medical bills have been a problem. Why take so long? What would you say to such a person?
It depends on whether he claimed or he did not claim. Did he claim? Because, okay, if you are hit by the college bus, the easiest way to do is go to your insurance company and claim. Then they will pay you and they follow up the insurer of the bus. So it's you to go to your insurer.
Your own insurer.
Your own insurer.
Right. But I think by the sound of it, this is just a pedestrian who was hit by a college bus.
By a college bus.
Yeah. I think that's, if I'm not wrong. Sir, if you're watching me, could you clarify on your question? Were you hit by a bus as a pedestrian or were you in another vehicle and so on? Please let us know. And keep the questions coming. Yeah. Okay, someone else says, could you explain if the language is interesting. But I think if I may understand what they're saying, they would like to know if there's a provision for protecting whistleblowers. If you want to say something, report a company to the IRA. Yeah. Are you protected? Please.
Yes, you are protected. And we get a lot of anonymous reports on insurance companies. We actually have emails which you can do anonymously. We have drop boxes where you can come and drop your complaint and you take that. And as a regulator, we also encourage people, if you don't want to be found out, you can still come to me, tell me this is in confidence, and I want to do it in that manner.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Someone says, Mwiti Brenda says, I hope they fasten up or quicken the issuance of license to new insurance agents. Sometimes it is hectic. That's one of your people. Then Chepkirui Josephine, thank you so much. You're watching from Nakuru. So, yes. Is there a problem with the process of issuance of licenses to new insurance agents?
Yes, I know there is a problem at the moment. At the moment, it's because of the system. You know, we are all transferring to the e-citizen.
Right.
So I think there are just challenges of that movement to e-citizen. Many of our clients do not understand how to maneuver that. But we will come to them to the office. We will take them through what they need to do. And right. It's actually a very fast process if they are taken through.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so Brenda Mwiti, I hope you have had it straight from the director himself. I hope you can come to the office and they'll look after you. All right. Somebody else here is saying, yes, the gentleman that was hit by a vehicle says he was riding a bicycle, and this is in the year 2020. Is it too late? Is this within reasonable time?
Now, in that case, he should have gone to gone to a lawyer because it's a liability case.
Oh, I see.
He should have gone to a lawyer who should have taken the case with the insurance company. So I don't know whether he did that.
Okay.
It may not be 2023 years. It may not be late.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still time. Okay. I think the final question is that, because we are running out of time, somebody says, kindly ask, there's an insurance company that has failed to pay my pension. It's 1 year now since I submitted my resignation. What's the next step to take? This is someone called Omondi Pamphil. What would you advise them to do?
He should report to us. I think that's a case where
that's a case you can handle.
Yeah, we can handle that.
Mr. Omondi, if you can hear me, this is a case that the IRA can handle, and indeed they would ask you to report to them.
Yes, yes.
All right. And on that note, I think we wish to close our interview segment, but I wouldn't like to let you go without giving you an opportunity to speak to Kenyans. This is your camera. If there's a message you'd like to pass to Kenyans at this time, what would that be? Don't even look at me. Look at Kenyans directly. Talk to them.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that the message I want to give to Kenyans is about the importance of insurance. It's just to tell you that insurance is a very important aspect of our lives because we are all accompanied by risk wherever we go. And insurance is able to ensure that you don't incur financial strain if the risk matures or happens. So please come to us, go to your insurance company, see what product suits your risk so that if you are in business, you know, if your business collapses, it will take you to zero and you may never recover. But with insurance, it ensures that you don't feel the pain. You continue the way you are. So insurance is important. Please go to your insurance company and buy a cover for your risks. That would be my message.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I know this is a very big subject, and we only had a short amount of time.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom on this matter.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Thank you.
Gentlemen and ladies, Mr. Kalai Musee.
Yes.
Thank you so much. The head of the Directorate for Supervision at the Insurance Regulatory Authority. The person who was asking for contacts, I think you can get them online. If you just Google the IRA, you'll be able to get the contacts. My name is Victor Muyakane. I wish you a good night full of God's blessings. And for the many people that made this news a reality, we say thank you.